right, guys, Red Alert 2 World Series action coming at you. We got a good one here today. I say that every day. I always say that, but I only say it when I truly mean it because we always got bangers. That's the whole idea around here. We got a couple killers in here. We got Red Alert 2 Pro Division Best of 7 for event number 16. We got Marsh, Mystic Marsh in yellow out of the US of A, bottom right, facing off against Ed, the wild card in red, also out of the US of A, top left. Here are those brackets for you guys. Winner of this goes on to play Osama. Winner of that goes on to play Marco. Tries to go all the way to the end to fight the final boss, take home that Pro Division title here. Again, this is standard Red Alert 2, not Yuri's Revenge and not Blitz. So this map, I don't know what's going on this map. We did a different map pool this month. Each pro player picked a couple different maps, and then we pick them randomly each game. So who knows what's going on? Anyway, the guys are picking their own factions. We are going to see Allied versus Allied here. Of course, these guys are going to mix up their factions based on the map. And this map, there's definitely some choke points and stuff like this. I'm talking my ass. I literally don't really know that much about this map, but hey, we're gonna learn it together. We got an airport up here. That's cool. Airports for both players. Look at this building. That building, it looks like you just fortify it. Oh, we got a hospital down here. Hospital down here. Hospital up here. Ooh, oil back here. Oh, we're in it, boys. I don't know this map, but it's my new favorite. It's my new favorite. All right, so Marsh versus Ed. These guys are wild players, man. It's always fun. I feel like whenever these guys play, it's always like a different vibe. You know, we're all in the USA, so we stream these games late at night. And they're always just I feel like these guys are always like sipping a beer, looking to get weird, put on a show. These guys are old school players. They've been around for a long time. They're not interested in bona fide metas. They're interested in getting a little weird, getting exciting, and putting on a show for us. So they always make things interesting. So bring in some early pressure here from Ed, going out that airport. Nice pillbox from Marsh up on the hill to hold the line here. Nice hold here. Very nice attack here from Ed. Sorry, nice attack from Ed. Not a nice hold. Very nice unit control here from Ed pushing in now. But look at the way Marsh is using that cliff, using the higher ground to protect the airport. Of course, that puts Ed between him and his base. So Ed going to now drive right in. Ed now committed to this attack a little bit. Should be able to click down that last Grizzly, but not going to be able to go into any pillboxes here. So he's going to have to try to reconsider his options. Paradrop on the top side as well. Any of you guys who are more used to Yuri's Revenge or Blitz, the GIs in Red Alert 2 are significantly worse. That's one of the biggest differences in the game. Well, there's a few big differences, but the GI sucking is definitely one of them. Nice pressure here from Ed, extracting maximum pain, trying to get as much value as he can. The GI is continuing to go to work, gets the refinery, gets that AFC. Very tough position here for Marsh as those GIs go elite. I get done telling you guys how bad the GIs are. All of a sudden the GIs just go to work. Yeah, you gotta think Marsh kind of just trying to catch his breath here, consider his options. Ed on the back corner as well, going at the oils. That's why you call him the wild card, boys. Marsh forced to try to move the MCV, but Marsh is outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. Name the musical that line is from, and you get 1 crowd game point. Ed pressure continuing on here. Of course, it is best of 7, so Marsh just getting nice and warmed up here. Marsh says, well played. First one on the board for Ed. All right, guys, over to point number 2 now. Point number 2. So Marsh this time going to stick with Allied. Marsh definitely a strong Allied player. That's what you expect him to see the most. Ed generally going to be going Soviet. Of course, it's going to depend on the map a little bit. So this map, things can get a little weird here. And if you guys who saw Ed's win versus Snark in this tournament, Ed opened his production off of this oil, came right over the bridge and went to work from there. So definitely some interesting ways to play this map. Of course, the first thing is that foot race towards the oil. Did anyone see the game where Zed lost an engineer to this monkey? It is hilarious. So both players are going to make a little foot race here and then go right to work. Again, we've talked about this before, but it's worth mentioning. I get so many kind of random people, coming in who haven't been seen the game in a while, haven't played the game in 20 years. But the big thing we talk about a lot is Red Alert 2 versus Yuri's Revenge. I like to mention that in these series, a lot of players are more used to watching Yuri's Revenge. But a big difference in this was by design when the games came out. When Red Alert 2 first came out, the tank speeds. So the tank speeds they build faster in Red Alert 2. The tanks build faster. So your tier 1 tanks can build faster, and oftentimes that's why you see like kind of epic tier 1 battles where it's lots of Grizzlies and Rhinos going at each other right away early on. Yuri's Revenge, they slowed down the unit build speed, and by doing that, oh no! And he's gonna try to. Oh my God, he's gonna try to engineer, but Ed has it. Oh, and Marsh brings the engineer IFE. Oh my God. You really need to appreciate the art of that move, because not only was it the one drone, it was the one drone to get the MCV and the next drone to take out the Engineer IFV. Because Marsh was quick. Marsh actually could have saved it with that Engineer IFV, but Ed had the second drone. Oh my god. Well, that's why you call him the wild card. Anyway, guys, again, Yuri's Revenge, they slowed down the tank build speed. Because of that, players can tech up. There's more time to tech up. There's to push tech to go into late games. Of course, that's what the game designers had in mind with Yuri's Revenge, was to try to create a game where players would tech up and use more units and stuff like that. Of course, Yuri's Revenge also has the Yuri faction, but that's just kind of a big part of the Allied and Soviet dynamics in Yuri's Revenge as well. Red Alert 2, Red Alert 2, actually, if you guys are unfamiliar, Red Alert 2 is actually, if you look at the competitive level of the game, there's significantly more players who play Red Alert 2, many of them exclusively playing Red Alert 2 versus Yuri's Revenge. They prefer that simple style of tanks, and then it doesn't come down to, wacky tech and late game stuff. It's more of, your tanks, your production, and then what you're going to do with your tanks, how you engage in the tank battles, your splits, stuff like that. Of course, China alone has more players than the rest of the world combined at the competitive level, and they pretty much exclusively play Red Alert 2. So anyway, there's a little bit of a history lesson here while these guys get geared up. Of course, if you like Yuri's Revenge, Red Alert 2, or Blitz, come over to my Discord, redalert2.com/discord. Come sign up for the tournaments end of each month. Last week of each month, we have the signups. Every month, we run a tournament, divisions for all skill levels, different game modes, lots of fun, cash prizes. I recommend it. Tell your friends and family. We had quite a few new players last month. I think we're going to have quite a few new players this month as well. So even if you haven't played the game in 15 years, there's always a spot for you. So both players' early MCV moves get down to those gems. Very dialed in on this map. Lots of buildings to fortify. It's always a little bit interesting if your opponent starts fortifying these buildings. It can be really annoying as you try to reinforce frontline position. You have your tanks kind of just running through harm's way, taking chip damage on their way to the front lines, which can really swing fights, particularly early on. So Ed, the Soviet player, Marsh allied again, out with a Harrier, trying to get some chip damage in, get value where he can. And I like Marsh. Marsh is playing this map while you see he's up on this cliff right now. This is a little bit difficult to navigate. Obviously, you don't want to, your tanks can't shoot up a cliff. Your enemy can shoot down. So you really need to watch this position. Pretty defendable starting position here, basically 3 choke points. But this expansion is a little bit more exposed. And look at this MCV move from Ed. Ed going right into the belly of the beast. So now Ed on the front lines with his MCV, and Ed's going to bring a split. Couple tanks here taking the highway, going to go for the MCV. And Marsh is liking his odds here. Ed split off his army and forces the sell. Ed brings the MCV all the way to Marsh's base, then sells it. Ed with a backside split, going to go at these miners. Doesn't get a miner. Doesn't get a miner out of that. So now Ed attacking on this backside. So Marsh holds the backside now. Sorry, Ed on the front side. And I think Marsh is going to hold this front side as well. So Ed with a bit of a miscalculation there. He brought the MCV and then overcommitted to his backside move, exposed himself, and allowed Marsh to get the MCV. But now Ed on the push here. Marsh does have the money for pillbox support. Oh, but the barracks went down. That's why you didn't see the pillboxes coming. Very, very nice map awareness there from Ed to take out that the barracks when you're attacking an opponent's base like that. If you can grab the barracks, it cancels out the pillboxes. Marsh able to hold that position nonetheless, though. And now as we get into a mid-game here, going to be a very tough position for Ed, of course, not having an MCV. MCVs matter. Any of you new players taking notes, write that one down. MCVs matter. Marsh with a nice economy, broke at the moment, but should be getting a nice economy underneath him here shortly. IFV, Engineer IFV, going to repair his tanks here, being a little bit frugal. I like that, playing it smart. Ed just kind of has to go full send here. Ed's got 6K in the bank, which is nice, but of course, as this game develops, being down MCV is going to be very, very tough. But Ed's still with a good economy, barracks and a war factory. So Ed's going to go for a push here. It's tough trying to get up this hill. I'd like to see Marsh try to kind of edge his base forward, try to take advantage of this choke point a little bit more. That elite Grizzly, very, very annoying. We'll see if Ed tries to target that. Ed edging in nicely here, does get that pillbox. Tough position, though. And Ed can retreat, but where does he retreat to? He has no home. He has no home to go back to. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Yuri's versus Red Alert 2. I think it's interesting. A lot of players play both, right? And I think different strokes for different folks. It kind of depends on the day too. And I think the different game modes all kind of offer something, especially an old game like this. When you're playing for fun, you play something and then you mix and match. It seems to be that like the hardcore top level players seem to prefer Red Alert 2, but it seems a lot of players who play for fun. you know, do prefer Yuri's Revenge. Wow, and look at this full send attack from Ed, bringing in the miners, not going to matter. And with that cleanup from Marsh, you got to expect the G's to be dropped here from Ed. That'll put Marsh on the board, get rid of that goose egg, and set us up for the barn burner that we're all hoping for here, boys. All right, guys, over to point number 4 now, point number 4. So, again, we're going to see Marsh sticking with Allied, Ed going with Soviet. Arabian Oasis is an interesting map, nice and open. I like the middle section here, obviously pushes action towards the center. Players who may be trying to get down there, battle out for those gems, the ore, and the tactical position of map control. And the water creates some kind of interesting choke points and abilities for splits. So we shall see now. Ed got a little bit too wild that last point. That's usually how Ed goes, right? If Ed gets up by 2 points, you know he's going to lose his next game because he's just going to get a little bit too weird. But that's what you expect from the wild card. Like I said, putting on a show for us. Ed cares about us. Ed cares about us. Quick reminder, guys, in case you're not excited enough, remember, in March, I need you to all quit your jobs and get excited about the Mixed Faction Mega March Tournament. It's going to blow your minds. We got 5 brand new maps that no one's ever seen. They've been specifically designed for each faction matchup, and the pro players are going to play all the factions. So we have an Allied versus Allied map, a Soviet versus Soviet map, an Allied versus Soviet map, a Soviet versus Yuri map. You guys get the idea. All 3 factions, brand new maps. It's going to blow minds. That's going to be in regular Yuri's Revenge throughout the month of March. So stick around for that. If you're catching this one on YouTube, it probably already happened, but stick around. Stick around on YouTube because the videos will still be coming. I post all the videos on YouTube in order, so you guys just kind of live like 1 month in the past, but you still get all the action in order. So I appreciate you guys equally, of course. While you're over there, if you are sitting around bored right now, you're like, hey, I don't want to watch this drone just run around. It's a great time to like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's annoying, but I got to ask. I'm about 1 million followers short of my goal of 1 million followers. Trying to get RA to the moon. That kind of support like that does help me immensely. It's free for you. Helps me get the content in front of more people, get more people watching, playing, and streaming Red Alert 2, which of course is the goal around here. You guys know. You guys know. So early drone out, not getting too much done here. You can't really drone harass early on an allied player. It's tough because the miners can just chrono, and then that evicts the drone. But again, of course, it does kind of slow down Marsh's ability to move his MCV. But it looks like Marsh is just going to go for a little bit of a base stretch here. Neither player moving their MCV early on. And so now some flak tracks out. So Marsh out with 1 Harrier, do a little bit of early harassment. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay, I was on my way here. I went on a run. I was coming back to stream. My car just died in the middle of an intersection. Middle of an intersection in LA traffic, 5 p.m. rush hour. My car just died. How weird is that? And it was like the battery died. I have one of those stupid cars that tries to save gas by turning itself off when you're at a red light. Turned itself off, and then it wouldn't turn back on. I have no idea why. I had to flag down a random person, get him to jumpstart my car. It was chaos. I almost had to light a roadside flare. I have a box of flares in the back of my vehicle, which I've never used before. And I was like, is now the time for the flares? And then someone jumped it. So it actually wasn't that big of a deal. Didn't have to light the flares. All right, so both players now base stretches again. No MCV moves. Nothing too crazy here. Trying to get some value where he can out of his Rockies and Harriers. Both players gearing up. Pretty nice economies here. A lot of miners. These miners getting a little bit befuddled. I think that's the word for it when you have multiple miners trying to dump at the same time. I think befuddled is probably the best word. Yeah, shot. No, I don't have a flare gun. It's not a flare gun. They're like the flares that you like set on the road. Got them on Amazon for like $5. I don't have a flare gun, for the record. I should have a flare gun, Regan. That's a good point. A flare gun would be much more fun. I do not, unfortunately, have a flare gun, which sucks. I should get a flare gun. I think that's the lesson I learned here today. I need a flare gun. 3 war factories for Marsh, 3 war factories for Ed. Yeah, and again, this is what you kind of see. So, like, we're at the 4-minute mark. Now, in Yuri's Revenge at the top level right now, you will often see players going Battle Lab before building any Grizzlies. And again, that's just the tank build speeds. Tank build speeds in Red Alert 2 do allow you to try to go toe-to-toe Grizzlies versus Rhinos, so it's not as uncommon to see what's happening right now. The split, and look at the split from Marsh. So Marsh is going to get the MCV. Now he just has to be careful on the backside. Ed sells the MCV, and a very, very nice, I mean, that's the kind of play calling you love to see at the top level right there. Marsh brings the 4-tank split. Any of you newer players who want to try to imitate this kind of behavior, 4 tanks, that's the magical number. You need this, if you want to split on the MCV, you need at least 4 tanks to get the job done. 3 will take too long. 4 tanks is the magical number. Very nice split here from Marsh, and he holds off the counterpunch. He just needs to stay alive here. Oh, the Desolator could be devastating. Desolators, but the Rocky's getting so much chip value. Look at this unit control. Marsh knows he just has to stay alive. Marsh has 4K in the bank, and this long base is very, very annoying. Very difficult for Ed to try to get down, try to get value out of it. And Marsh completely holds off that counterattack. Very, very, very nice unit control there. That's exactly the kind of play you expect to see from an allied player in Red Alert 2 at this level, using those Grizzlies, dancing around, and getting the kind of value you don't expect to see out of Grizzlies. Very, very nice. So Marsh going to head downfield here and try to just drop the hammer, finish things off. Ed switching over to drones. Marsh pretty severely droned. He's just going to try to attack through it. Ed trying to take a base trade, but Ed doesn't really have enough units to do a base trade. So he's going to get the last war factory. That's going to be the GG's, and this one's going to be going to Mystic Marsh. Here we go, over to point number 5 now. Let's see if we did the spawn right. Hey, we did the spawn right. That worked out. So this is Arctic Circle, and if you guys who don't know it, the map's super long. There's water, there's bridges. That's really all I know. We'll see. We'll see what we get. Both players going to go allied here. A big map like this. There's a couple different factors. You know, if you're thinking, is this map allied or Soviet favored? Factor number 1, the size of the map. The sheer size of the map always going to make it... Wait, this is okay. This is okay, Sander. We just didn't want him to spawn on the islands, right? No, this is fine. We just didn't want him to spawn on the islands. Oh, you wanted to be opposite corners? Sander, don't be so fancy, man. Don't be so fancy, Sander. You drink tea with your pinky out, too? Fancy Sander. It's supposed to be Sander the Savage, man. You don't care. You don't care about spots like that. So again, no dog engineer eat is on, so the dogs can't eat engineers. The reason for that is a lot of players have collectively decided that engineers being eaten by dogs, it kind of, the whole game kind of becomes like dog engineer battles on maps like this, so they got rid of it. I'm actually a fan of pre-captured tech. I think tech should always just be pre-captured, or at least tech that's like yours. I mean, like middle tech, sure, it should be a battle, but the tech on your side should be pre-captured. But anyway, that's the way she goes. So Ed at bottom left here and Marsh bottom right. Again, allied versus allied. Big map like this, you expect to see it. The choke points as well, going to make it more likely to see allied map. Really defendable early positions. And then maps where water and air are going to be more valuable, expect to see allied as well. So the foot race for the middle one. And Marsh, very nice map control. Does he have a pillbox ready? Does he have a pillbox ready? Does get it, but gets it stolen. So both players do pick up a middle oil. Oh, those Rockies, and loses a couple Rockies. You don't expect to see that from Ed. Those Rockies so valuable early on. Really unfortunate to lose those with no value. A couple of IFVs from Ed now on the top side for God knows what reason. I have no idea what those have planned. Both players building off their center oil here, going at those juicy gems. I don't know, maybe just trying to pull Marsh out of position. Hey, you call him the wild card for a reason. Who knows what he's doing? Marsh opening heavy Rockies here. Now look how many oils, right? Both players starting with 4 oils. It does allow you to get away with some really weird stuff early on, and you're on gems, right? So double miners on gems early on. Combined with 4 oils is a massive kick to your economy. So that's why you see these early Rocketeers and neither player going broke early on. Definitely allows for it. I definitely can see a tech push on this map as well. Naval can become valuable if both players focus in the center. Paradrops. Oh yeah, and there's oil on the islands as well, and airports on the islands. Oh my God. A lot to keep track of, boys. A lot to keep track of. But I think the tech is kind of a fun way. I mean, the maps themselves are kind of the lifeblood of keeping the game fresh, keeping things new, keeping players on their toes, and making exciting games for the players. But I really think the tech is kind of the is the really fun component on new maps, because it changes everything, right? If you have 4 oils, it's going to totally change how you open, what you build, when you push tech, and what you can get away with. I think it makes things well, I think it definitely makes things exciting. I think we might, yeah, we could see some naval if we get into a late game. Definitely a lot of Rockies here for both players. Definitely a lot of Rockies. Another sub. Overkill, Dr. Overkill, you like it, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support, guys. It's always fun streaming at different times, streaming in the evenings like this. You always get different players, you get different viewers in here hanging out. Always mixes it up. I know a lot of you guys on YouTube, I normally stream at a time that doesn't work for a lot of players, but I also stream 12 hours later than that. So if you are catching this on YouTube, you want to come watch the action live, come on over to Twitch. I stream different times of the day. I try to mix it up so people from all over the world can catch it. redalert2.com/live. It's free. It's easy. I know some people are scared of Twitch. You guys aren't familiar with it, but it's fun. Twitch is fun. Twitch is fun. Battle Lab now for Marsh. Marsh now bringing Mirage tanks into the fight. Ed's still on sticks and stones. Ed doing it with straight grizzlies. So Marsh's mirages could definitely get a little bit scary here. Ed's in the water, but he doesn't have a battle lab, so the destroyers and cruisers can only really get so much done. Mirage tanks, this army's going to start to get a little bit scary here. We're going to have to see what Ed's answer is to Marsh's tech. Ed on the backside with a couple grizzlies harassing some miners. This is scary. Ooh, that's a lot of Rockies, too. I think Ed's pretty outgunned here, boys. Ed on 15K, so overproducing and not spending enough. And that will certainly cost you on a map like this. And you see right here, this is just a this is just better build. Just a better build here from Marsh. Marsh now a ton of both players uncontested with Rockies in each other's bases. But look how many more Rockies Marsh has. So you look Ed, 20K in the bank. To the untrained eye, you think, oh, Ed's got 20K. That's great. He's rich. That's going to mean, though, that he just wasn't really producing at maximum speeds to match Marsh. And Marsh just going to get it done downfield with the Rockies. Not really going to matter. Ed doesn't. Oh, my God. Ed gets down. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What? It doesn't matter. Sorry, I always get excited when I see an MCV go down. When I see like a wild play downfield, I get excited regardless. Of course, this game is over, but you love to see Ed getting downfield and making it happen. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now over to point number 6. Point number 6, we got Marsh up in the top right. We got Ed in the bottom left. Ed again with Soviet, Marsh with Allied. This map's so dark. I hate these dark maps, man. I mean, I think there's a lot of map makers there. I mean, the map makers are artists. Like, look at this. There's a crashed plane. There's like this glowing light. This barn's on fire, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, anyway, I'm not a big fan of the really dark maps. I think as a work of art, I think it's really cool. But as practical application, particularly because I play with such a zoomed out resolution, not a huge fan. Kind of makes it hard to make it out. Man, someone in my apartment building is like burning like a weird candle. I'm like having like an allergic reaction to a candle or something, which is very odd. All right. Anyway. Maybe it's just the smell of the barn getting ready to burn, boys. Again, this is best of 5, so yeah, look at this barn that's on fire. That's pretty cool. Again, so if Ed wins this, we go to match point. Marsh wins this, he sends Ed home. Winner of this does go on in the tournament. Pro division, it is single elimination, so the loser of this takes the long walk home. Look at this polar bear on the island. It's always fun. You love to see it. You love to see the polar bear on the island. So drone out. So the drone just trying to take out some early scouts. Can't really get much done against the allied player. I'm not sure what this drone's really for. Ooh, the sneaky pillbox behind the war factory takes it out. Well played. Well played, well played, well played. Yeah, so both players right on their early gems early on here. Yeah, it's interesting. I think you just got to start getting weird, though, right? Like this map right here, this crash plane in the middle, might as well just throw a nuke. Might as well just throw a nuke right there in the center. Keep players on their toes, keep things interesting. Why not, right? I suppose there's a lot of reasons why not. So the oils, both players' oils in the corner are going to build off those. So you see both players obviously very familiar with this map, very dialed in here. And Marsh, again, out with that early Harrier. What can he get done, though? What can he get done? We've seen Marsh so far demonstrate what a good Rattler 2 allied player can get done, running Grizzlies right into Rhinos. Of course, Ed demonstrating why he's the wild card. But you got to look at the scoreboard, right? Ed got a couple wins early on with some pretty wacky stuff. Marsh now on a 3-0 run right now. Definitely has the momentum in this series. And you got to think Ed's feeling the pressure a little bit. Definitely some frustrating losses here. But Ed's... well, there's a reason we call Ed Papa Ed, man. He's been around for 20 years. Ed's the kind of guy who bends, doesn't break. So let's see if Ed can put on a show for us here. Oh, sorry, guys. So weird. Yeah, like I swear someone in my building is burning like a candle that I'm allergic to, which is weird because I'm not really allergic to candles. Must be like a specific candle that I'm allergic to. All right. So Marsh shifting the action up to the top left. No splits here. Trying to get, oh, nice little paradrop. Get some of the paradrop on the cliff, some of it not on the cliff. Continuing to harass with that Harrier. I like the one Harrier. You know, you get one Harrier, you get it on a hotkey, you just constantly harass your opponent's Rhino tank. It's a good way to do it. Definitely, I mean, you forget, you know, you don't really see it as much. It's not one of those things you see or feel, but every time you hit a Rhino, you put it to half health. In the next battle, you're going to feel it. Your opponent's Rhinos are going to pop that much faster, and it really can make a difference. Harrier making another lap. There are a couple of flag tracks in that group, though. Oh, tries to take out the flag track. The The problem is Harriers are so much worse than Eagles. I think that's one thing, obviously, in Blitz, the Allied players getting all the faction bonuses, a huge advantage for Allied. It is interesting when you look at the faction bonuses, right? The Soviet versus Allied faction bonuses. So Allied has several faction bonuses that are all viable. You almost always see America, and obviously Marsh been playing America all day today. So at the top level, you pretty much only see America, and in some cases, France. It takes out that pair drop. In some cases, France, depending on the map. So France, and not the way that you see any of you guys who have played the games online, or you remember back in the day, France was that really annoying thing that your little cousin did. He would turtle in with 1,000 cannons. That's not how it's played at the top level. France at the top level is used to base walk on certain maps. So you will see some France, you will see some America, but that's really about it. Although, you know, both the Eagles and the Sniper are valuable units. They're just not valuable enough. What is happening? Is Ed going full send? Is Ed so... but what? And Marsh is going to destroy this bridge to slow down this attack. That's very annoying. Okay, so now Ed has to reroute. Marsh bought himself some time destroying that bridge, and this is why you call him the wild card, boys. Let's go. The hype is real. So Ed pulls all of his miners off. You got to think he's probably going to sell his MCV. The miners aren't working anymore, so he's going full send. And Ed, oh my god, will this work? Marsh is so geared up. He has so much fodder, so many tanks. I don't think this is going to work. What's in this flak track? Oh, Deso Bomb. The Deso Bomb's nice. Doesn't quite get it done, though, but it forces Marsh to attack. The Desolator's still pushing. The Desolator's still pushing. Look at those. Oh, the Miner's doing so much work. Ed doing everything right here. That one Desolator. The Desolator now zoning Marsh's army out. Ed now on the backside. And the Desolator did work, but Marsh has so many vets right now, so many vet Grizzlies in this group. If they start going elite, Ed's going to be in a lot of trouble. Ed's army is melting, and that Desolator still, oh, and Ed bringing some reinforcements on the backside. Marsh on 3 elite Grizzly. The Grizzlies not going to matter. You love seeing attacks like that. You like seeing players get weird. Unfortunately, Marsh calm, cooled, and collect, taking that one home. Was able to hold it off, and yep, and this is like old school. I think this is like the second Blitz map. Well, we changed it so much. This one's had a lot of tweaks over the years. Oh yeah, the base walk. I forget how this map works. Damn, look at that leap. Oh, you start with 2 oils on this. Right. It's almost like I made this map.
Ready. Construction complete. Primary building started. Unit lost. Unit
Comrade reporting.
Unit lost.
Comrade
Unit
reporting.
ready.
Attacking. Waiting order.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Building.
Changing position. Ready, comrade. Changing position. Changing position. Moving. Target sighted. Vehicle moving.
Unit ready. Unit
Comrade
ready.
reporting.
Unit lost.
Waiting order.
Building.
Moving.
Unit ready.
comrade. Waiting order.
Unit promoted.
Waiting order. Location confirmed.
New construction options. Building. On hold. Unit ready.
Ready, comrade. Moving. Location confirmed.
Unit lost.
Moving.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Casting. Unit ready. Building. Our base terminated. Unit lost. Construction complete. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Building. Unit lost. Fine systems ready. Unit lost. Construction complete. Building.
Hero report.
Ready. Unit lost.
Location
New
confirmed.
construction options. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Ready, comrade.
Ready.
Moving.
Unit ready. Training.
Ready, comrade.
Unit ready.
Target
Unit ready. Unit
acquired. Vehicle reporting. Changing
Unit
position.
ready.
Ready, comrade. Moving. Vehicle reporting. Moving.
Unit ready.
Attacking.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready. Insufficient funds.
Moving.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Missile ready.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost.
All right. We're gonna hit him with the GG easy no re. Last game of the day. No re. GG easy no re, boys.
Lost. Unit ready.
No rematch.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Low power.
Hit him with the GG easy no re, boys.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Our base terminal. Unit ready.
Come on, boys. Send her home.
Promoted. You have employed.
Hit him with the GG easy no re. Sorry, Java. No re today.
Here,